Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. After a successful debut in 1939, Gum Inc. brought back its Play Ball baseball card set in 1940. Featuring a noticeably improved design and a larger checklist that included legendary players from the past, the 1940 Play Ball set was once overlooked but has enjoyed a boost in popularity with collectors in recent years. Measuring 2.5 by 3 1/8 inches, 1940 Play Ball was printed and distributed in two series. The first series includes cards 1 through 144, and the second series features the remaining cards 145 to 240. The 240 card set matched the 1933 Gaudy set as the largest single-year gum card set issued up to that point. The release is designated as R335 in the American Card Catalog. Although the cards still feature black and white photographs like in 1939, several elements were added to help elevate the 1940 Play Ball design. A banner featuring the player's name and nickname, if applicable, was added to the bottom. The section is adorned with a glove, bat, and catcher's mask, and a frame is placed around the picture. The 1940 Play Ball card backs are very similar to the ones found in the 1939 set, featuring a detailed biographical write-up. The main difference is a 1940 copyright date and a new ad copy at the bottom. Some cards in the high number series provide a preview of Superman Gum, a future release by the company. Dubbed Superman backs, cards 121 to 180 can be found with one of 6 similar ads that tout the upcoming Superman release. The card group can also be found with the basic Gum Inc. ad found on the rest of the set. Key active players anchoring the 1940 Play Ball set include Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams. Loaded with Hall of Fame talent throughout the checklist, other popular cards include Jimmy Fox, Hank Greenberg, and Mel Ott. Various coaches and managers are also included in the set. In addition to being much more difficult to locate, one other feature of the high number series is the inclusion of cards celebrating retired stars. At the time, the Hall of Fame was still relatively new, and the legends helped fill out the number of cards needed for the final series. Today, retired stars are regularly inserted into sets, but this was a new development in 1940. Combined with the active players of the set, the Hall of Fame count in 1940 Play Ball exceeds 50 players. Older hobby guides indicate that collectors generally frowned upon cards featuring retired players, but that has changed over time. Since the retired legends are part of the limited high number series in 1940 Play Ball, they already receive a premium in terms of value. Most notably, Shoeless Joe Jackson has become one of the key cards in the set, commanding top dollar at auction. Other noteworthy retired greats appearing in the high number series include Christy Matthewson, Walter Johnson, Honus Wagner, Tris Speaker, and Napoleon Lajoie. The 1940 Play Ball set is notorious for a specific condition issue that is inconsistent with those of the 1939 or 1941 sets. For whatever reason, the set suffers from noticeable problems related to border toning. Colors can range from a sepia tone to yellowish brown. It can be very challenging to find cards without this discoloration. Over the years, the hobby has accepted this unfortunate characteristic and has settled on finding cards with even toning across all borders. Centering can also be an issue. In this video, I'm going to show the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1940 Play Ball set based on their PSA 4 values. I'll also give the values of those cards in higher grades, as well as the population count of those grades. As a side note, because some cards have very low population counts, the values in some grades might not reflect current prices, since it may be a year or two or even more since a copy in that grade has been sold. Now, before I get to the top 10, here are the cards that just missed the top 10. At number 15, the Spud Chandler High Number Series card. At number 14, the Charlie Gehringer card. At number 13, the Mel Ott card. At number 12, the Tris Speaker High Number Series card. And at number 11, the Chief Bender High Number Series card. So, which cards made the top 10 list? Let's go find out. At number 10, we have the Grover Cleveland Alexander card. In the PSA 4, there have been 43 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $199. There have been 38 graded a PSA 5. They sell for around $169. There have been 32 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $295. There have been 19 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $311. There have only been 7 graded a PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale took place in July of 2019 through Heritage and sold for $630. And there has not been a PSA 9 or 10 graded copy of the Grover Cleveland Alexander card. At number 9, we have the Christy Matthewson card. In the PSA 4, there have been 60 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $252. There have been 64 graded a PSA 5. They sell for around $276. There have been 64 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $785. There have been 26 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $884. There have been 14 graded a PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale took place in September of 2023 through REA and sold for $1,440. And there has not been a PSA 9 or 10 graded copy of the Christy Matthewson card. At number 8, we have the Hank Greenberg card. In the PSA 4, there have been 78 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $277. There have been 53 graded a PSA 5. They sell for around $441. There have been 41 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $634. There have been 29 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $1,064. There have only been 9 graded a PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale took place in February of 2023 through eBay and sold for $3,250, placing the Hank Greenberg at the number 5 spot in terms of PSA graded copies on this top 10 list. And there has not been a PSA 9 or 10 graded copy of the Hank Greenberg card. At number 7, we have the Walter Johnson card. In a PSA 4, there have been 63 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $300. There have been 46 graded a PSA 5. They sell for around $415. There have been 29 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $485. There have been 17 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $868. There have only been 7 graded a PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale took place in December of 2019 through REA and sold for $780. And there has not been a PSA 9 or 10 graded copy of the Walter Johnson card. At number 6, we have the Jimmy Fox card. In the PSA 4, there have been 83 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $356. There have been 78 graded a PSA 5. They sell for around $508. There have been 55 graded a PSA 6. They sell for around $990. There have been 33 graded a PSA 7. They sell for around $910. There have only been 9 graded a PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale took place in December of 2020 through eBay and sold for $1,140. And there has not been a PSA 9 or 10 graded copy of the Jimmy Fox card. At number 5, we have the Honus Wagner card. In the PSA 4, there have been 59 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $368. There have been 44 graded APSA 5. They sell for around $513. There have been 39 graded APSA 6. They sell for around $810. There have been 22 graded APSA 7. They sell for around $576. There have been 12 graded APSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale took place in July of 2022 through Heritage and sold for $3,840, placing the Honus Wagner card at the number 4 spot in terms of PSA 8 graded copies on this list. And just like the others, there have not been a PSA 9 or 10 graded copy of the Honus Wagner card. At number 4, we have the Berg card. In a PSA 4, there have been 45 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $379. There have been 48 graded APSA 5. They sell for around $390. There have been 40 graded APSA 6. They sell for around $700. There have been 17 graded APSA 7. They sell for around $650. There have been 14 graded APSA 8. They sell for around $2,000. And there have been 2 graded APSA 9. The only PSA 9 sale in VCP's database took place in June of 2008 on eBay and sold for $2,550. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Berg card. At number 3, we have the Ted Williams card. In a PSA 4, there have been 117 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $1,482. There have been 133 graded APSA 5. They sell for around $1,739. There have been 89 graded APSA 6. They sell for around $2,415. There have been 48 graded APSA 7. They sell for around $5,400. There have been 27 graded APSA 8. They sell for around $5,760, also placing the Ted Williams at the number 3 spot in terms of PSA 8 graded copies on this list. There have been 4 graded APSA 9. The last PSA 9 sale took place in October of 2017 through a PWCC listing on eBay and sold for $14,600. And there has been 1 graded APSA 10. The only PSA 10 sale was in June of 2006 through Goodwin Auction and sold for $60,343. At number 2, we have the Joe DiMaggio card. In a PSA 4, there have been 94 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $2,207. There have been 53 graded APSA 5. They sell for around $2,699. There have been 29 graded APSA 6. They sell for around $2,995. There have been 17 graded APSA 7. They sell for around $11,241. There have only been 8 graded APSA 8. They sell for around $26,400, placing the Joe DiMaggio at the number 1 spot in terms of PSA 8 graded copies on this list. Now, there have been 2 graded APSA 9. The only PSA 9 sale in VCP's database took place in November of 2007 through Goodwin Auction and sold for $34,349. And there has not been a PSA 10 graded copy of the Joe DiMaggio card. And at number 1, we have the Shoeless Joe Jackson card. In a PSA 4, there have been 64 graded copies with a current VCP average price of $3,600. There have been 73 graded APSA 5. They sell for around $4,320. There have been 31 graded APSA 6. They sell for around $5,650. There have been 34 graded A PSA 7. They sell for around $8,547. There have been 15 graded A PSA 8. The last PSA 8 sale took place in May of 2021 through Heritage and sold for $19,800, placing the Shoeless Joe Jackson at the number 2 spot in terms of PSA 8 graded copies on this list. And like so many others on this top 10 list, there have not been a PSA 9 or 10 graded copy of the Shoeless Joe Jackson card. Well, there you go, the top 10 most valuable cards from the 1940 play ball set. As always, would love to know in the comments what you think about the 1940 play ball set and the cards that made the top 10 list. And stay tuned for next week's video in which I take a look at the 1941 play ball set. And if you've missed either of the last 2 videos in this series, you can check them out right here. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.